Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha, and welcome to another episode of All Intuitive Conversation. I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. As an executive coach and life coach, I hope to encourage people to live smart and ascend to new levels of success in their work life. And so today I get to connect with Chidi. So let's bring him to the screen. Aloha, Chidi.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you today?
Very well, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, where are you connecting with me today from?
The beautiful city of Edmonton, Canada. Alberta.
Ah, Canada. Okay, so Canada. Are you from there? Born and raised?
No, I am a recent immigrant to Canada. I was born and raised in the eastern part of Nigeria, West Africa.
Okay. So tell me about that transition from Nigeria to Canada. Like, when did you do that? Was that when you were a kid, an adult?
Yeah, no, that was just about 5 years ago. I came in with my family, wife, and three boys. It's been exciting, but yeah, also been full of a lot of upheavals. It's the most disruptive thing that we've done in our life, moving from kids and kings, showground, and everything, and coming over here. So yeah,
Hmm. Tell me more about that. Like,
the thing is, sometimes people don't know the challenges that come with, living where you are born, moving to another country. It's actually very, very. It involves a lot of transitions
mm-hmm.
and it involves calls into being your ability to be resilient, okay, because it's a new culture, different mindset, different worldview. I think that one of the, even though we've been widely traveled before we decided to settle to come over and settle in Canada, we've been widely traveled for holidays and for leisure and for business,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still a huge challenge for us to find our feet.
Okay. So tell me like the beginning. So you're in Nigeria, and you like I said you've traveled and you decided, okay, let's move our family to Canada. What was the reason behind that? Like, why did you even want to move?
That's a great question. I had my postgraduate education in University of Warwick, England, and
Mm-hmm.
then before then, I had been a banker. Okay, I've had many years of working as a banker. So I took a break, went for my postgraduate education, and then came back to the country,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then started working. But I I have I looked at the trend of things going on in the country, and it wasn't looking towards the right direction, and I
Mm.
felt this was the time for us to take a walk, and then we started thinking, where can we go that will give us that sense of progress and ability to uh, get all our talents out. And it was fast track. That decision was fast track after I went through a kidnap experience. And so by the time I came out from that kidnapping experience, I decided it's time for me to move.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So that gave a whole new meaning because the first card that came out was contract. But I wasn't sensing contract per se, but it's interesting that you said the whole kidnapping experience. But now that kind of makes sense because usually when you're kidnapped, you usually are blindfolded and you're taken to this other place. And so she was, blindfolded. But then there was this whole injustice to that, right? They were breaking a law or a criminal trespass in that sense. And then the next card that came out was a man by himself, holding a heart, alone. But this one, the heart has this little glow kind of thing here that's missing to that, and he seems relaxed and seems in love. But I'm hearing that you weren't necessarily loving the country where you were at that time. You were not really seeing, the hopefulness and where you wanted where you wanted to go in order to be. The next card that came out was a happy family.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you wanted your family to be having peace and love and being able to go out and enjoy those different things. So, kidnapping experience. Chidi, like, tell me about this. I'm like,
Uh, it's uh, it's one of those defining moments in a life that you did not plan for, but it comes down upon you. So I was going to go pick my kids from school in around 4 p.m. And then got into this road. There was a vehicle that was parked on the side of the road. I slowed down for the vehicle to come in because it looked like it wanted to come into the road. And then
mm-hmm,
rather than coming to the road and driving off, they came into the road and blocked me. And then this six gentlemen, 6 people came out. I don't know if I can call them gentlemen in that sense. Came out with weapons and all that, And then the ordeal started. It was a horrible thing because I was in the kidnap den for 6 days, and yeah, and then my family and friends rallied around to get money to pay the ransom before I was let go. However, within that period, there were so many times during um, the experience. It was touch and go. There were times that my life were threatened, and I was just a bullet away. So it was difficult.
I totally got chills because the next card that came out was a trigger statement that says, like, I doubt it. Like the feelings of that you may be experiencing, am I going to make it out of this, situation? My life is threatened. But then it says it's the theme of is an opportunity. And it says a true statement, there is hope. It sounds like your family probably still had hope that they were going to be able to find you and that you were going to be released. And the bottom of the card literally says, with fresh eyes, see the potential within this situation. And so I'm going back to how it was kind of blinded in the beginning. And so it becomes, okay, I'm kidnapped. My life is threatened. But sounds like in the midst of that, the new opportunity was, it's like now I see this, I'm alive. I would say, did you then come from that experience having a new appreciation for life and family and what that means?
Absolutely, it was like like I said, it was a very defining experience for me, and so when you get as close, when you have a life and death experience, your attitude to life changes. When you get as close, you have to. So when I came out, it was more or less like, no, I needed to secure my family. I needed to
Mm-hmm.
make sure everybody around me was secured. That's one. Number two, it also changed my life, my whole life view. So when I came to Canada, a lot of people thought I was going to go back to banking,
Mm.
right? Which was what I've been doing before. But I decided I wasn't going to use the rest of my life to do banking again. I felt that this was the time for me to start giving back because there were so many things I wanted to do, and I said, okay, later in life I'll do this, I'll do that. No. And part of what I started doing was I made a conscious decision to work with people in the disability field. So
Mm.
I served people at the margins of the society, people who had intellectual and developmental disabilities, and it has been so enriching because these were sets of people who needed, I believe, who needed a lot of support, a lot of people believing in them and all that. And here I am coming from the hard charging part of banking, figures, numbers, targets, and everything. I'm saying, working within that margin. So it's for me, it helped me make that connection to say this life is not just about money. It's not just about that level of this. And then I went back
Mhm.
to doing the things that really, if you ask me, really, that really matters.
That those things are probably what you love that brings joy, to your heart. It's like you said, it wasn't making, it wasn't that, but helping other individuals with disabilities and everything. So, how does a man that's had that experience of being kidnapped, how did you make sure that you didn't have, because like I said, the corner of the heart didn't have bitterness in your heart from that situation?
When you are faced with difficulties, there are two ways to react to it. Number one is to say, "Why me?" And
Yeah.
then the other one would be to say, um, there must be a reason why God, the universe, or whatever it is that we believe in, had allowed me to go through this experience. And it's left to me, it was given to me as a gift to make me better. That's one. The second part of it is that if you go becoming very bitter, you are also saying that you're not grateful, right?
Hmm.
For the fact that you survived through this whole episode and came out, because nothing was guaranteed, right? Nothing was guaranteed. So you choose your reactions or your responses to these. I guess also comes from the kind of mindset that you have. If you have a resilient mindset, then you take it in your stride, and then you can build upon it, like by the special grace I have been able to do. Rather than dwelling there and bemoaning yourself and living in self pity, etc., so that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't move the conversation forward. Now I'm able, because of the experiences that I've gone through, being able to talk to people to say, when you go through such life shaking experiences, it's not the end of the world. There are
Right.
some beautiful things at the end of that spectrum. There's some beautiful things that happens when you pause a little bit and come into it, look at it again from a point of gratitude, because you can't afford to lose what you have to all that you've lost. Okay,
Mhm.
so that's the spirit that makes me. I don't feel bitter about it, to be honest. I feel grateful.
Well, because we got chills, because as you explained the situation, the card that came out to literally says, "Where do I go from here?" That's the trigger. And then it says, "True statement, I allow life to flow through me." And at the bottom it says, "Inspiration has arrived and you will work through as you move forward." And that was literally what you said about moving forward, like from this situation. And it's like the theme of this card literally says ignite. So it's like, had that not happened, like I said, you might have continued to do the whole banking thing and just gone on with the life and stayed there, and then may not be like this whole successful thing, for your family. But it's like that whole situation ignited the whole thing for your life, and you're changing, and now you're serving in this whole other, you know, field, to be able to encourage people. Your family has moved, and I'm sure they're feeling this joy and happiness from that. So taking that whole opportunity to, like, you doubt what your life is, because there are going to be people out there that are like, okay, I went through this experience, what is it for? Why is me, right? But then, like you said, it's an opportunity to say, okay, where can I go from here? How can I move forward in like this particular
Yeah,
situation?
absolutely.
So with this whole vision that you have and this experience and happiness, tell me, what do you envision for you and your family 2 years from today?
Um, I am hoping that I can build up on the experiences that I have. My
Mhm.
first is that, again, because we've come to Canada and the period where we came in, we didn't see that much of comprehensive resource support for people who are coming behind us. I decided
Mhm.
to do a book. Okay, I decided to do a book, Coming to Canada: The Ultimate Success Guide. Now, what I plan to do is to leverage the experience, the book, and all that to talk to people, to impact my world and my community, and to
Yes.
say it doesn't matter what it is that you're going through. even when the facts look so there, there are things that are beautiful can still come out of it, right? Beautiful things can still come out of it. There are people that I hope my message will empower, my message will inspire. I'm
Yes.
hoping that I'm able to connect with people at that level where they say, if all of this could happen to this guy and he's still this way and he's still pushing and he's still doing this, then it's there's still hope, more or less. There's still I'm still able to do things. Because sometimes what happens is that when we go through traumatic experiences, we tend to shut
Mm,
down.
mm-hmm.
We tend to shut down. We tend to shut in. We don't allow ourselves to embrace the opportunities that come from there. And I hope that I'll be able to carry that message through my speaking engagements to people to say it's not the end of the world. There are so many things that you can still do. And look, you can tell this story from a position of hope.
Y- That's you're definitely aligning with that because, like I said, you went from that whole situation of being blinded, kidnapped, against the whole law contract, and like I said, you went right to this man that still has this heart. You've had this experience in your heart, but yet you're still open, you're still receptive, still there, and then your family, like you're still connected and engaged, with your family, and it went on to say, the opportunities and to ignite. Where do you go from here? The next card that came out was still in line with what you said because it talks about the second chakra, the sacral chakra, and it says, reward myself. I know that I am truly worthy and deserve to receive the good things of life, and I give myself permission to have them. It's time to enjoy the fruits of my labors. I aim to incorporate and embrace fun and joy in my life. I realize that all work and no play is a recipe for energy flow disruption and exhaustion. I allow myself to experience and receive more pleasure in my life, and I am flexible and open to change. I am receptive to embracing activities and events that come my way, even those I may have avoided in the past. And it's like,
Absolutely.
wow, that's just like so beautiful of what you did. Like I said, that experience, you might wanted to have avoided that, but you're still open and embracing that and loving that. And like you're taking that whole situation and showing good to others, which ultimately, as we say, you are definitely a living example of encouraging people to live smart and ascend to new levels of success in their work life.
That's correct. Yeah.
I love that. Chidi, thank you so much. So, if those individuals that are wanting to connect with you and learn more about your experience and how you may be able to maybe help them with their transition coming to Canada, how can they reach you?
So my website is chidispeaks.com.
Mhm.
I can. I'm also. But you can also connect with me via email, chidi@chidispeaks.com, through my social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, um, yeah, any of those.
I love that. Thank you, Chidi, for coming and sharing your light with us today and encouraging everyone to live smart and ascend to new levels of success in their work life. If you're interested in having an executive or life coaching session with me, reach out to me at sevenfoldcoaching.com. And until we meet again next week, this has been another episode of All Intuitive Conversation.